Do you have unstable employment history, but you want to get approved for a large personal loan with fair credit? If that's you right now, my friend, I want you to stick around until the end of today's conversation because I'll explain everything you need to do. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation, I guarantee it.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flower that's stinging in the beat, but the rhythm's getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome City Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about large personal loan with a fair credit and unstable employment history. How do you get approved? No questions asked, okay? And I'm going to share with you the steps you need to follow. Here are the steps. Number one, you need to check your FICO score. It's really important because the fact that you have an unstable employment history doesn't mean necessarily that your FICO score is low, right? So you got to have a clear idea what your FICO score is at, okay? It's very important. Are you at 500, 600? Talk to me about that. Do you even have an idea of where you are at right now? So it's really important so everything starts from there, okay? And you want to have a clear idea of what your FICO score is. If there are issues with your FICO score, you can dispute those issues. You can send dispute letters to the data furnishers, the credit card issuers, or the lenders who provided that data to your credit score. It's really important. You can contact also Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, boss, aunt, uncle, whatever you need to do to actually check your FICO and make sure that whatever is in the FICO is accurate. Do it. Okay, there are a lot of places to look for your free FICO score. Actually, you can go to your Discover credit card or website if you are a Discover customer. You can go to banks. You can go to credit card companies. Okay, you can go to credit unions. You have auto loans, student loans, and credit and financial counselors. There are a lot of places. As a matter of fact, you can go to a website called annualcreditreport.com that allows you to actually check your credit score. Okay, and whenever you are denied credit, you can also check that your credit score. Or once a year, they have Congress has mandated the three players, TransUnion, Equifax, and Credit Score and Experian, to actually provide this to you for free. You can also sign up for Credit Karma. You can sign up for Nerd Wallet Hub. There are a lot of players out there, okay? And it's really important to actually check your FICO score to make sure that you pay attention to your payment history. You pay attention to your credit mix. You pay attention to your CUR, your credit utilization ratio. Pay attention to your inquiries, okay? The kind of hard pulls you have, okay? And if you want to increase your FICO score, which is something you need to do anyway, and everybody needs to do anyway, pay your bills on time. Use credit responsibly. Granddad, I'm talking to you. Grandpa, I'm talking to you. Grandma, I'm talking to you. Okay, Dad, Mom, are you with me? Check your credit reports regularly, and avoid closing credit accounts. Okay, very important. The second thing I want you to do, if you're looking for a large personal loan, but you have an unstable employment history, and you also have a fair credit, you need to actually think about your liquidity situation, your cash position. Very important. Again, there's a big difference between the fact that you have unstable employment history and your cash position. If you live within your means, if you have a budget, you could actually have some savings on the side. Okay, simply because you have a rocky job history, you are jumping from job to job, or you're not able to have a stable job, doesn't mean that you are necessarily scraping by. No. Okay, so the thing is, you have to think about whatever cash you have. Make sure that you have a plan for it. Here on this show, we are talking about methods. I'm teaching you a plan. I'm teaching you a code. Okay, and it's really important to boost your income. Okay, income. It doesn't matter how you get the money. As long as it is legit, that's all that matters. People have multiple jobs. Why can't you do it? You can have a side gig. You can have 2 side gigs, work from home over the weekend, do whatever it takes to increase your income. Boss, I'm talking to you about, that's you need to, if you want to get a large personal loan, you need to have at least something, because the lender is going to ask you, how are you going to repay me? So that's the big question you got to answer. So boost your income. Okay, cut your expenses. You want to live within your means. We've said this before. It's really important, and that's why you want to have a budget so that you can see clearly how much you're spending, your cash inflows and cash outflows. All right, boss, I'm talking to you. Hey. You need to have a budget. You need to cut your expenses. Okay, don't you just walk around and trying to live beyond your means, telling everybody you have bling bling. You just buying shoes. You buying whatever. You buying jewelry. Whatever, you can't afford it. Or you eating out every night, you can't cook at home. What's up with that? Cut it out, okay? You want to cut it out. You need to live within your means. Whatever you're doing right now, you want to live within your means so you can pay off debts. You can refinance your debt if needed. But the thing is, you need to plan for infrequent recurring expenses also, so that you have a clear idea of your cash position. Because you know what? The bottom line is, I want you to have a solid cash position. What is solid? Solid just means that you have a little bit of cash left over. Because if you are looking for a large personal loan, let's say 25 grand or 50 grand, the lender is going to ask you, how are you going to repay me? That's really an important question. And you better have a clear idea or a clear answer to the lender's question. And that's what I want to talk to you about in this section, repayment. The lender will ask you, I just said it, the lender will ask you, how are you going to repay me? Okay, I don't care if you have a stable or unstable employment history, whatever that means. Or you have a stable job, or you work a 9 to 5, or you work in season, you are a seasonal worker, you are a cyclical worker, you work during the holidays, you do side gigs, you do Uber, you do DoorDash, whatever you do, whatever. But how are you going to pay me back? That's what I care about. Okay, that's what I care about. As long as you're making the money legitimately, your sources of income are legit. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is, you need to actually plan your repayment. Okay, to get a large personal loan, you need to plan your repayment. You got to do things. You got to do things in a reverse way. Okay. Before you get it, you need to plan how you're going to repay it. It's very important. And it starts with building your budget. You got to have a budget. You got to decide where you put your money, the little cash inflows you have. You need to plan it. It's about time people start having a serious conversation about that. We need to have a straight conversation about that. Budgeting. Buttressing our budget foundation so that we have a strong foundation to pay our loan. We have available cash to repay our loan. Okay, and the thing is, you can also simplify your payments. If you currently have you have 2 or 3 credit cards or loans you're paying, you need to simplify payments. Okay, and watch for refinance opportunities. They are available all the time. And one thing I want you to really pay attention also is that if you're looking for a large personal loan with fair credit and you have started doing your research, please read the fine prints, read the details about the loans that you are actually thinking about. Okay, because the thing here is that you want to make sure you really have a clear idea about the APRs. If the loan has some fees also, okay, the repayment penalties, if there is some admin fees or whatever they're charging you, okay, to get you the loan. Sometimes online lenders do that. Banks and credit unions don't do it, but online lenders might sometimes charge you a fee to get the loan that you want. So it's very important to read the fine prints. Now I want to talk to you about bank lending. You want to systematically and reflexively apply for your loan at your own bank or credit union. Boss, are you still with me? Okay, this is important. Okay, hey Juan, why are you walking away? I'm talking to you. I mean, you're the one who has problems. Okay, Juan Mira Flores. I love your name, but you listen. I want you to focus here. Okay, I want you to really get approved. Okay, I want you to be approved for the large personal loan with fair credit and unstable employment history that you have. Okay, I want your ass to be approved. And that's why I'm telling you, you want to systematically and reflexively apply for your loan at the bank or credit union where you're currently at. It's important. Why? Because they know you already. They have your records. They probably have your cash. They can see your cash inflows and cash outflows. They have a clear idea, or and let's just say a 90% idea of your finances. And it's always important to start applying for a loan where they know you also, because they actually can give you more. See, banks really love when you have a relationship with them. Okay, they have this sort of they will rather lend with you because they've made money off of your ass in the past anyway. So they are in a situation where they want to give you money. Okay, so it's important. And to get a bank loan, decide on a bank loan amount. You got to be really clear. I mean, I'm talking about a large personal loan. You can get it from a bank or a credit union, but you really need to decide on a bank loan first. How much are you looking for? Boss, talk to me. You want 50 grand, 25 grand, 100 grand? And the big question is, why do you need that much? You really have to have a situation where you are able to explain that. And by the way, have you thought about repaying that amount back? Can you afford it? Okay, this is important. So you need to determine the type of loan that you need from the bank or credit union. Are you looking for home loans, for auto loans, personal loans? We're talking about personal loans, but you can use personal loans for home improvement. You can actually use the personal loans for emergencies. Okay, and you need to decide where to borrow the money. I've said it before. You want to start at your own institution, but what if your institution does not want to qualify you? Then you have to look for alternative sources. Okay, alternative financial institutions. Anyway, you want to have at least two banks, and if one bank doesn't approve you, you want to go for the other bank. Okay, that's the flexibility I was just talking to you about. It's really, really important. I want to talk to you about the paperwork you need. Folks, grandpa, grandma, I'm talking to you. Hey, I'm here. Yeah, I'm talking to you about a large personal loan with fair credit and unstable employment history, right? And you got to really take care of the paperwork. In other words, what documentation is required for the large personal loan that you need and deserve? Think about that. Well, usually they want you to have so you have the loan application itself, okay? And I will talk later on about applying at a branch, but it's really important to actually fill out the application properly. If you have any question, to actually talk to a rep so they can really explain to you everything, okay? So they ask for your name, your first name, last name, date of birth, social security number, okay? They might also ask you to actually explain your desired loan amount and loan purpose, okay? And actually some lenders will want you to include additional financial details like your gross monthly income or your monthly rent or mortgage payment. Okay, so be sure to answer each question accurately. They might ask for your proof of identity. This could be your driver's license, your passport, your state issued ID, your certificate of citizenship. Okay, your military ID could also work. Your social security card could also work, okay? And the lender will ask you for your employer and income verification. So we're talking here about what? We're talking about pay stubs, tax returns, W-2s and 1099s, bank statements, employer's contact information. So again, simply because you have an unstable employment history doesn't mean that you don't have access to some of those documents, or if not all. So you have to really think about that, okay? And the thing is, if you are self-employed, the lender might ask you for your bank statements, your 1099s, and your income tax returns, okay? And when we talk about proof of address, which is also quintessential when you are talking about the paperwork you need, they might ask you for your utility bill or your lease or rental agreement or your mortgage statement or proof of insurance on your home, lease, rental, or vehicle. Okay, voter registration card could also work in some cases. Property tax receipts, okay, and bank or credit card statements. So the thing here is that you really have a constellation of documents to actually provide, okay. And lenders they're not really too concerned about how you'll use the loan, but understanding the loan's purpose may help them recommend the best loan product for your needs, okay? And some lenders offer specific loans such as a debt consolidation loan or home improvement loan to borrowers. So it's really important to explain that also. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation about a large personal loan with fair credit and unstable employment history. How do you get approved? Okay, you are looking for work, you can't find work or whatever. So you need to beef up your job prospects. What I'm trying to say here is you need to explain to the lender that, hey, listen, I might be having an unstable job history right now, but I'm working on having a stable full-time 9 to 5. Okay, a well-paid job that can actually beef up my net worth and help me get the loans and credit cards that I need and deserve. Okay, so you want to be in a position where you want to constantly you want to look for work, and you want to explain to the lender that you are looking for work constantly. They have to see some actions on your side. Okay, and there are a lot of ways you can look for work. I mean, you can actually get a solid job. The thing is, it doesn't matter where you find yourself in life, where your academic background is, whether you are a degree candidate or not degree candidate. It doesn't really matter. You know why? Because if you ask your network for referrals, because everybody has a network. I don't care unless you live in the forest. If you live in a city like you and everybody else, you have a network. So ask for referrals. You want to tap into your network for referrals. And the cool thing is you can also have a network online also. People have Facebook groups. Okay, you can ask for a job in your Facebook group. Okay, go to networking events. Okay, you can also contact companies directly. People do that all the time. Yeah, because the bottom line is you need to make that paper. You need to get that job. So whatever you need to do to get that job, just do it. Okay, use job search platforms also. I mean, you go from Indeed to hotjobs.com. You have a lot of them. Okay, go to job fairs also. Yeah, this is important. And you see, the thing is, you gotta do everything to actually get the job you need. And again, make sure that you explain that to the rep, explain that to the lender. Okay, and go to job fairs. You want to leverage social media. You can also inquire at staffing agencies. A lot of staffing agencies actually have the network, and they have the opportunities for you. So the bottom line is, do not be lethargic. Do not be static. You have to be moving. You have to be in and out, in and out. You have to keep moving. Okay, be dynamic. The last thing I want you to do here, if you have a fair credit and you have an unstable employment history, is I want you to go to a branch. Boss, I want you to go to a branch. You go to a branch and you apply there. Do not apply online. Okay? If possible, don't apply also over the phone. You want to go to a branch. Bring your ass to the bank's branch or to the credit union's branch and sit down with the rep. Talk to a rep. You want to explain your situation to a rep. You want to bring all your paperwork. Obviously, before you go to the branch, you have to have had at least 3 to 6 months relationship with the bank. You need to have a relationship, okay? And you want to parlay that relationship into something better, into a large personal loan, okay? And the thing is, and during the conversation, you want to actually bring that up, that you've been with the bank for a while, that you have but you have a strong relationship with them, okay? You have a clean history. No history of bounce checks and whatnot. No, very important. Okay, and you want to ask them how you can qualify for a personal loan at their institution. Okay, at his or her institution. And the thing is that make sure you understand the process, the underwriting process at the credit union or bank you go to. It's really important. Okay, and decide how much to borrow. Make sure that you have a clear idea about that and communicate that to the rep. Okay, and ask him or her if you are eligible based on your situation, based on your FICO score, based on how much you're making. So it's always great to actually collect intel from a live person, from an insider, before you apply for a loan. Because once you work out that conversation, you can actually have some kind of sense of your approval odds. In other words, you will know, hey, listen, if I apply, I will be approved, or if I applied, my ass will be denied. That way you don't really waste a lot of time, okay? And try to see if you can get pre-qualified. Yeah, you can get pre-qualified for certain loans. Everything is possible, so try that. Okay, so when we talk about, and when you go to the branch, make sure that you ask them about the different types of personal loans they have. Do they have debt consolidation loan, co-signer loans, secured and unsecured loans, fixed and variable rate loans? Ask them about what they have. Okay, so you know, again, you have a clear idea of what they have. And the thing is, if you don't get approved for a loan, hey, listen, have a backup plan. And what is the backup plan? Get a co-signer, or you can choose a secured personal loan. Okay, so there are a lot of options for you. Okay, but you first need to apply. You first need to go to a branch and talk to someone before applying for real. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was talking to you about large personal loan with fair credit and unstable employment history, how to get approved. Okay, check your FICO, check your cash position, have a repayment strategy. Think about bank lending. Okay, take care of the paperwork, take care of your job prospects, and have a rendezvous at the branch. Thank you so much for your attention. I will speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.